Good morning, happy Thursday. Today's math lesson is going to be on how we can apply our addition and subtraction strategies to find unknown numbers. All right, again, before we get into our unknowns, we're going to do a little bit of review of our addition and subtraction. Go ahead and start with one addition problem. This time I'm not going to read it. I want you to try and read this number before I read it out loud. What is that top row? What is that second row? 106,291 plus 38,427. All right, starting with our ones place always. 1 plus 7 is 8. 9 plus 2 is 11. That 1 on the right side is in our ones place. The other one goes up top, next place. 2 plus 4 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. 6 plus 8 is 14. The 4 is in the ones place. 4 goes here. The 1 goes and gets carried into the next place value. 0 plus 3 is 3 plus 1 is 4. Bring down my 1 because there's nothing to add. Okay, when we're doing this, always check your work. It's a little big space. Oh, that space is left for my comma. All right, check your work. We went top row to second row to find our sum. So let's see if we can add it the other way to check our work. 7 plus 1 is 8. 2 plus 9 is 11 still. 4 plus 2 is 6, plus that 1 is 7. 4 plus 8 is, 8 plus 6 is 14. 3 plus 0 is 3, plus 1 is 4. 1 and 0 is 1. Okay, always important to check your work because sometimes we get so confident in our skills that we make a little oops. Most of the mistakes that we make in math are simple little oopsies that we're rushing through. So take the time and go through your work, okay? Alrighty, we're gonna do one subtraction review problem. Again, I'm not gonna say the number until you try and say it first. So as I'm writing it, you could actually be saying it. What is that top row? 21,046. I could see that being a little confusing. Minus 13,535. All right, starting with our ones place. Can we take 5 away from 6? Yes. 6 minus 5 is 1. Can we take 3 away from 4? Yes. 4 minus 3 is 1. Can we take 5 away from 0? No, 5 is greater than 0. We can't take 5 away from a lesser number. So what do? Go next door and borrow some more. Can we borrow from 1? Yeah, we can borrow from 1. This 1 now becomes a 0 because 1 less is 0. We're taking one group of 10, taking it back to where we need it right here. Now, can we take 5 away from 10? Yes, 10 minus 5 is 5. Can we take 3 away from 0? No. What do? Go next door, borrow some more. We can borrow from 2. We're going to take just one group from 2 so that they have that 1. 2 minus 1. With that one group of 10. Can we take 3 away from 10 now? Yes. 10 minus 3 is 7. 1 minus 1. Can we do that? Yes. What are we left with? 0. Am I writing it down? No, because that's our last number that we need to do, and our numbers don't need a 0 in the beginning. 0 can go in the middle, at the end, but not so much in the beginning of our basic standard algorithm problems, okay? Am I done with my work? That's right, I'm not. What am I missing? comma, and the comma goes after every third number starting from the right. 1, 2, 3. So our answer is 7,511. Am I done yet? Nope, because I need to check my work. All right, when checking your subtraction problem, just make sure you're taking the last two rows, add them up, and it should get to your very topmost number. 1 plus 5 is 6. True. 1 plus 3 is 4. True. 5 plus 5 is 10. True. 3 plus 7 is 10. True. 0 plus 1 is 1. True. So all those statements are true, so this answer is correct and complete. All right, now let's get into some unknown numbers and see what we can do to figure out what some numbers might be when we're trying to look for them. Let's start something a little easier. I'm going to have an unknown here. All right, so starting with only one unknown number, I'm going to take 245 minus something, and it's going to give me 210. Couple different ways that I can do it. One math strategy is called guess and check. Sometimes it's the best strategy. Sometimes it's a lot of work and it takes a really long time and it's not ultimately the best, but it still works. Okay, so I could just guess numbers until I get my answer. Sure. Is that really the best way to do it? Maybe not, because we know that when we are subtracting, I can check my work by doing a couple different things. Okay, I already know what's in this very first column and the last column, and I know that there's only one number missing. So with that information, but also using the information of how I check my subtraction work, I'm going to go ahead and go with that. 0 plus 5 is 5. That's true. So that means I don't have to do anything with this. 1 plus something will give me 4. What can I add to 1 that'll give me 4? 1 plus 3 will give me 4. And the 2, add no other number, will give me 2. So the missing number here was 3. And the way I was able to solve that was by using the method of how I check my subtraction problem. Now let's see if we can increasingly get it to where it's a little bit more of a challenge. Okay, the blanks are telling me that we have a number that is there. Okay, that's a blank and that's a blank. And maybe there's a blank here. All right, so starting with this, what do we know? We know that no other information is going to come into our ones place, but there is something in our tens and our hundreds that we need to figure out. How do we solve a subtraction problem? We add our last two rows. So let's go ahead and start there. 8 plus 5 is 13. But we know that we can't take 8 away from 3. So there was something that had to have been done here. We had to borrow here. We also had to borrow here. So I know that 5 plus 8 is going to have to give me 13. So right now I'm seeing it as 5 plus 8 is 3, and that's not true. So I need to make sure I go ahead and start. 5 plus 8 is, I need to make sure this is a 13. But I can't just write the number 13 out of nowhere. This happens when I go next door to borrow. But if you take a look, I can't borrow from 0. So I have to go again next door and borrow there. This one is getting borrowed so that the 0 can become a 10. Now this number can actually subtract. Okay, but I still need to borrow one group of 10s so that this 3 can become a 13. So this 10 now becomes a 9, and that's where I get my 13. I'm going to backtrack and try that one more time. I know that 5 plus 8 is 13. That's how this is true. Okay, but this 13 can only become a 13 if I borrow. I can't borrow from 0, so I continue to go until I can borrow. This 2, I can borrow 1 from 2, so this 2 becomes a 1, and now the 0 has value of 10. Now that it finally has value that I can borrow, I will borrow 1 from 9, and that's where I get my 13. Now that this number is 9, 9 minus something is going to give me 5. 9 minus what is 5? 4. 1 minus what would give me 0? 1. Now let's check our work. 5 plus 8 is 13. True. 5 plus 4 is 9. True. 0 plus 1 is 1. True. So the two missing numbers from this particular equation was 1 and 4. Regroup, regroup, and regroup again. Okay? As long as you are comfortable and are working towards regrouping, you can find out what number and numbers are missing. Let's try one more. And this time it will be an addition. 652 plus something something 9 will give us a total of 1,090 something. All right. When adding, we know that we're just going from our first and second row, and then we will get to our third row. Row 1, row 2, add them up, we'll give you row 3. 2 plus 9 is what? 11. I can't put an 11 here, but this 1 in the ones place will go here, while this other remaining 1 will go up top. 5 plus something plus 1 will give me 9. 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 plus what is 9? 3. 6 plus what will give me not 0, but 10, because there's nothing higher than our hundreds value. 6 plus what is 10? 4. Now we're just going to go back and check our work. 9 plus 2 is 11. 3 plus 5 is 8, plus 1 is 9, and 4 plus 6 is 10. Okay, the addition one is probably a little bit easier, but it's the same idea for the subtraction. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pause and give you your assignment for today. And pause. All right, so today's assignment for finding the missing or unknown numbers. Numbers 1 and 2 are just some standard algorithm for addition and subtraction. Okay, number 3 is focusing on what we did today and figuring out what numbers are missing. There are 2 blanks, so that means there are 2 numbers that you're looking for. Okay, keep in mind what operation that we're working on here. 1,256 minus something that has a 0 in the tens place will give you 1,054. Your job is to make sure that you are working the problem, and please go back and check your work. Okay, if you have questions, please ask. Otherwise, you can either take a picture and upload or send this information, your assignment, on Google Docs. Have fun, work hard, do your best, and try. All right, see you tomorrow.